Hey everyone, I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, and today we have another installment of my crypto, social media, and regular social media metrics update, as well as my earnings report. I am thrilled to say that I made close to $3,000 in the last month in January, which is phenomenal. And I'm getting to the point where I'm almost making the same amount as I'm making from my day job. Which is leading me to the point where I may just quit or, do a lot less work with my day job and just go full time with this. Maybe doing once a day, twice a day, putting more time to my book and all these other great things. And I just wanted to say thank you for helping me get to this point. We're not quite there yet because I need this to be, sustainable, and it can't just be 1 month was really good, so, that's it. It has to be more like, several months in a row, all looking really, really well, where I could then feel comfortable to actually take that step. But I'm getting closer and closer to the point where I can actually do this and just dedicate all my time to this. And I just, again, wanted to thank you guys for making this possible, for supporting me, for following me, for watching these videos, for liking, commenting, sharing, all that amazing stuff. And if you do want to help me continue to improve, there's a bug or like a hack, so to speak, in the YouTube algorithm right now, where if you vote, like, participate, comment, all that stuff for YouTube polls, it vastly increases your ranking or whatever for the YouTube algorithm. And ever since I posted my poll and only got, minimal responses, I've been getting exponentially more earnings and views on YouTube. So if you could go on there and just participate in the poll, that would be so helpful for me. Obviously, everything that you're doing, just watching this, is amazing and super helpful. But if you do want to help me do that little extra bit without actually having to spend any money or, do much aside from this, and you appreciate what I'm doing, then I would very much appreciate you going and voting on that YouTube poll, commenting, liking, all that good stuff. But with all that being said, again, thank you so much, everyone. Going forward, this is kind of showing how blockchain social media can really make it possible for you to just live this life of like a digital nomad. And, whether this is your side hustle or you're actually doing this full time, there's a lot of money to be made. And I hope that by me doing this really shows people that this is possible. And it's funny because it wasn't long ago where people would say, okay, you're making, $100, but all the time you put in, clearly, that's not worth it. Now I'm to the point where I'm getting thousands of dollars a month, still putting in crazy amounts of hours. But it just goes to show you that dedication, persistence, doing something you love and not being worried about how much you're making or how well you're doing, and just going all out and just dedicating to it. We're now, over 400 episodes of my show. Just amazing to be here, and it's super surreal. And I think it's just really important to call this out, where it's yeah, you'll have people who will say, oh, this person's only got a small following on YouTube. But I'm getting my first YouTube payment this month. Now that I'm at $150, I got $71 from the last month. So amazing progress there too. So I'm getting my first YouTube payout finally. And that took me 4 years to finally get my first check from YouTube. So that's also really amazing. And yeah, I really want to ingrain with people that it takes a long time. If you're not that person who popped overnight, I've been doing this for years and years, and we're still very early on. I would say me being 4 years into this is still early into the process. So anyone who's been doing something for 6 months, 2 months, a year even, and they're like, oh, this isn't, successful. I'm not a raging success yet. You really got to put that out of your mind. If you're only worried about the metrics and the money, you're not going to make it. Because if I was worried about the metrics and the money a year ago, when I was getting $100 a month or whatever, yeah, that's a huge difference. But now we're at the point where I'm getting thousands of dollars a month, and I can just live off of this more or less if this keeps up. So again, just really want to send that home. Just be patient, do what you want to do, focus on your passion, and eventually good things will come. You have to stick to it. Obviously, you have to keep improving. You can't just stay the same. You always have to be pushing to improve and just stay the course. And you're never going to learn unless you do stuff. You can't just sit around studying and researching and preparing to eventually do it eventually. You have to just dive in and just do it. The worst thing that could happen is you could make awful videos and you can go back and, delete those, which I have. I've deleted a lot of my original posts. But thank you for listening to that little rant. Now for what you guys are actually here for. So let's get into this. So this is for January. Really good month in terms of metrics. Really great for engagements, comments, followers, impressions, all the like. The reason that video views is like ridiculously up is because I started tracking bitlink.tv, and bitlink.tv represents 30% of my video views because there was 93,000, I believe, video views, which drastically changed the amount of video views that I have. And it almost makes me question if it's like legit, but if people want to watch my videos there, then that's fine. And that also just goes to show you why you want to post everywhere, because now I'm realizing that 30% of my viewership comes from some random platform that I wasn't really paying much attention to, but I was uploading to. And that's why I upload on 40, 50 platforms to really spread everything out. What you guys see here is only a small... just a small capture, a small snapshot of what the whole entirety of all my social platforms are. This gives you everything. But when we look through individual accounts, I could only fit, like 12 on here. So I just picked the ones that I thought were the best to share. I've removed BitChute because not a lot is going on there, and BitLink TV obviously makes up a much larger portion of my views, so I figured I would just track this going forward. And as you can see, it's 93,400, not 93,000 or 96,000 or whatever I said earlier. But anyways, everything is moving along very, very well. YouTube, I'm now over 100,000 views, so that's really great to see. Everything is doing really well. I'm at 30,000 subscribers on LBRY, almost at 100,000 views there. Probably by the end of this month or the end of next month, my YouTube, or rather my LBRY video views will have passed my YouTube video views. And probably BitLink as well. So that's going to be really great to see. So 100,000 for both of those will probably be next month. And yeah, everything has been going along pretty swell. Steam is still pretty dismal. Not a lot going on there. Don't highly recommend it. Haven't been paying a lot of attention to LinkedIn. LinkedIn has become a cesspool of just like spam and people just like adding you and pitching to you. And it's just really, really overused. And it's basically at the point where LinkedIn doesn't matter anymore because it's just all spam. And people really ruined that platform over the past few years. When Microsoft made this a content platform, they killed the platform. And yeah, that's all there really is to say about that. All right, so everything there is really good. That's pretty much everything for my social stuff. Everything's just been going really well. That's really all I have to say. There's not a lot of individual things to focus on for this month. I did go down a little bit in terms of my rank on LBRY, which is unfortunate, but if other people are putting in that work, then other people are putting in that work. Now for what you guys are really excited to see, and this is probably what most of you are here for. It is my actual earnings report. So I earned a pretty good amount on PublishOX. I would say a big portion of that is from Ethereum going way up in value. So I'm just earning a lot more of a higher value. But realistically, if you consider what I earned previously, which is very similar, and you consider the appreciation that I got, I still technically earned the same amount anyways when you consider that. But this looks very nice to see this, over $150, which is like more than double of last time. Brave browser is up to $7 now, which was way more than last month. So that's nice to see. I mean, it's still pretty small and it's not worth a ton, but money is money. And if you don't really have to put much work into it, which is what Brave browser really is, then, why not, right? LBRY is amazing, just crazy amazing. I made $1,380 US. This will not be continuing, unfortunately, because my LBC earnings now are like 5x less. So unfortunately for me, I'm probably only going to get like a couple thousand next month, which will probably be my lowest earnings ever. So that's really unfortunate. But I mean, LBRY's been really, really great for me. That may not happen, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case. So, unfortunately, me talking about how like I want to, if this keeps going the way it is, then I could, retire from my job. But I don't necessarily see that happening with the way that LBRY is going. But who knows? Everything else could go up in value or be giving out more or whatever it happens to end up being. But, either way, and I mean, if LBRY appreciates a lot of money, then, hey, if I end up at the end of the year, if Bitcoin goes to 300,000, if LBRY goes to $1, if all these things play out, I'll still probably end up retiring anyways, just because of how much money I'll have, and I'll be able to just live off of that money from passive income from probably dividends or something similar. So that's still on the table. But moving forward, Hive, very dismal compared to last month. So that's kind of unfortunate to see. But LeoFinance is still, you almost earn the same amount, but I mean, it's almost worth like 3 times the amount. So, when you pull those together, it's still over $100 effectively coming from Hive. So, that's definitely still, worth participating in. But you pretty much need to be using LeoFinance for this to be viable. I mean, $25 is still $25, but if you're getting over $100, I think that's going to get a lot more people wanting to actually participate and use it. Because again, you have to consider that most people aren't going to use most of these platforms. They're only going to use like 1 or 2. So they're probably going to gravitate to the stuff that makes them the most money, or that's probably what they'll do. But I mean, some people might go for community and different things, but a lot of people are probably leaning towards where you can actually earn the most, which makes sense because, your content has value. And now you finally see that it has value because you can actually get value. So you want to capitalize on that. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. So Read.Cash is continuing to do well. Bitcoin Cash has gone up in value too. So that helps. $65, pretty solid. SoMee, $77, pretty solid. Again, I always have to say with SoMee, right now, swaps are not working. I believe it's just because the Oracle has been drained from Ethereum gas fees, but SoMee is still, like, their swaps are still off right now. My swaps did not go through. They did not work. So whether or not that's malicious or not, the result is the same. Swaps are not working. DTube, I'm not really earning much from the actual platform, which is kind of unfortunate because I thought I would be earning more. $12. But the airdrops that I'm getting every single month are worth $291, which is insane. And again, I don't know if airdrops are, you have to have been on like the beta, or if you have to connect to Steam, or if you have to just post videos, or if you just have to use the platform in general. I couldn't tell you, but what I do know is that you should absolutely be on here because every month I'm getting $291 US absolutely for free, just for no reason. Like, it pops up in my account, lets me know that I get it, and then I could just sell it on Uniswap, make $300. That is insane and amazing. And if you're not taking advantage of it, I don't know why you wouldn't be. You absolutely should. It's as simple as that. I got my 918 airdrop today, actually, February 2nd. So that was really nice. It's still worth, $300 or whatever. So highly recommend. And then for YouTube, that's actually incorrect because it's 7132, I believe. I had to update this yesterday because YouTube is always 1 day behind. So that's not a huge deal, but I will slightly update this as well. I think this is 356. But I will change that. It's only like a few dollars different, so it's not like a big deal. But just something to note. Now, looking at the overall breakdown, again, you've already seen all the amounts and everything, but this is just to give you a visualization of that. So again, obviously, LBRY does make 64% of my entire earnings. So without LBRY, this would be 64% lower. Which would also suggest, like, if you were going to go somewhere, maybe it's probably LBRY. But again, I am earning 5 times less now. So that, again, is very unfortunate, but money is money. This is something that you should maybe take away. While I do think LBRY is amazing, it's one of my favorites, the reward model on LBRY is not actually decentralized like it is on Hive or DTube or LeoFinance, or like Read.Cash is iffy because it's based on like interactions and then the random upvoter, and there's not a lot of transparency, so it's hard to tell. But obviously YouTube is centralized, SoMee is centralized, PublishOX is centralized in terms of reward models. So I guess realistically, most reward models are centralized. The only ones that like are fully decentralized is stuff like DTube, Hive, Leo, Steam. Not anymore, but the original model. But it's just that specific type of decentralized blockchain model that is fully decentralized that also has decentralized rewards. But the reason that this matters is because with LBRY, they can change the reward model at any time, as well as it will eventually end because there's only a certain amount of LBC set aside for rewards. So naturally what this means is we should technically be getting less LBRY every month, but ideally it'll go up in price and they can kind of keep it somewhat consistent. And eventually they will release an ad model, which will bring a ton of new income. So hopefully that will kind of counter all of that, and then you'll end up with more money. Hopefully, that is the hope. But the actual platform and the content and all that stuff is decentralized, so that's amazing. It's censorship resistant, and you shouldn't have any issues about your stuff being deleted or censored or anything like that. So that is really good. But when it comes to reward models, there's very few that are fully decentralized. And I'm not really complaining because it's still really great for what they offer. But I would love it if more platforms where we're more lenient with their rewards. But I know, there's scammers, spam, people trying to game the system, all that stuff. So it's not like it's a single factor issue or a single lane issue or whatever you want to call it. But either way, this is my breakdown of all of my monthly earnings. And obviously this month was by far the highest. You can see though, there is generally a long-term progression. I mean, obviously this month and this month were a lot higher than other months, and then it kind of goes back down. But $1,000 was generally the average until lately, where it's been notably higher. And hopefully that continues. But again, with LBRY, I don't see that continuing. But that's pretty much everything for today. Let me know, did this give you any insights? Did this help you with any decisions for where you might want to go? Where are you earning the most money? What are some tips you have for earning on different platforms? Are there any platforms that I haven't looked at that you are using or know of? I love to learn about all this stuff. Test things out, share with everyone, do reviews, all that great stuff. So if there is anything like that you know of, please definitely comment below and let me know. And if you found this helpful or insightful or just, valuable in any way, please do give this a like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. It really, really helps. And like I've been saying, it gets me to the point where I can eventually just do this full time and dedicate a lot more time to bringing you guys the most value I possibly can, which I'm happy to do. So with that being said, that's everything for today. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Cheers.